Yo, Amateur Lore here, and today we're looking at some of the weirdest conference winners in college football history. I had to go real far back for some of these highlights, but I honestly had so much fun making this video, and plan on doing more like it, as I already found a couple of other weird title winners that I may want to look at. Be sure to comment any weird conference winners you want me to cover down below, and be sure to like and sub. These videos take a while to make, but yeah, let's jump right in. Alright, so when the idea of this video came into my head while gambling on some live action table tennis, I had to search through every major conference to find some outliers, and something that I found was the little dogs really don't eat. But I managed to find a couple of underdogs who managed to punch up and bring home the conference title with the odds stacked against them. Which takes us to the Big Ten for the first team up in this video, the 2001 Illinois Fighting Illini. When it comes to the Big Ten, since 2001, this conference has been dominated by conference juggernauts Michigan and Ohio State, with a couple of other teams such as Iowa, Wisconsin, Penn State, and Michigan State getting their shot at the crown every now and then. And oh yeah, I can't forget Oregon, I guess. But majority of the time, the Big Ten chip is coming down to Michigan or Ohio State. And this is nothing new, as Michigan has won the conference 45 times, and Ohio State has won it 39 times. So when I saw Illinois bringing home the conference crown back in 2001, I had to take a look. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Going back in time to the year 2001, I was looking through some of the Big Ten preseason predictions, and majority of the outlets I could find had Illinois finishing the season as a middle-of-the-pack type of team. More specifically, in one of the articles I was reading, they had them predicted to finish 7th in the Big Ten. And you know me, when I saw that I started rubbing my hands because I knew we were in store for a fire video. So let's take a look at some of the key figures from Champaign that made this fire video possible. Leading this program in his 5th year up to that point was head coach Ron Turner. And I do this every video, but Illini fans, where do you rank him all time on your coaching ladder? Comment it down below. At quarterback, we had Kurt Kittner, who'd finished the season passing for just shy of 3,000 yards with 23 touchdowns. Moving over to the running back room, this team didn't have a signature back, they relied on a stable of running backs, but the team lead in rushing would be Antonio Harris, who'd rush for 626 yards. And finally, to round out the key figures on offense, at the receiver position, the team lead in receiving would be Brandon Lloyd, with just over 1,000 yards. To open up the 2001 college football season, the Illinois Fighting Illini would begin their year blowing the brakes off the California Golden Bears 44-17. Quarterback Kurt Kittner was dicing the Cal defense all day long, passing for 297 yards with 2 touchdowns, while running back Antonio Harris would punch it into the end zone 3 times. While the offense was putting in work, the real MVP of this game was the entire Illinois defense, as they would force 5 turnovers. I don't know what happened in their next game, as the Fighting Illini would struggle against the Northern Illinois Huskies, barely squeaking out the win 17-12. If I had to guess on why the score was so close, it had to be because Illinois couldn't stop the Huskies' rushing attack, as they would rush for 214 yards, and when you can run the ball like that, you're going to dominate the time of possession and slow the game down. Regardless though, Illinois would survive and would be now sitting at 2-0, heading into their first real test of the season, as they would be hosting the 24th ranked Louisville Cardinals. At this point in the season, no one really knew what this 2001 Illinois squad was made of. But after 60 minutes versus a ranked team, the world would find out.
This is a finger, you make the catch. Francis had a couple of balls already today, likely should have hung on to it. He'll hang on to this one, and he's gone! 40, 30. They're trying to take the angle, and they'll goal from the 3. Here's Ragone. With time, throwing, caught. Again on defense. First and goal from the 9. Same play on the way. Play action, set up perfectly. 3rd and 7. Ragone under pressure from the shotgun. They pick it up. The ball too high. Ragone is picked off. Intercepted by Christian Morton. 5, touchdown. 1st and 10. Kittner off play action. Looking big. Going for Young. Got him. Touchdown. 426 yards in total offense by the Illini. So now that 2nd and 3rd effort will be enough for a score.
Illinois would dominate the 25th ranked Louisville Cardinals, winning convincingly 34-10. The Fighting Illini defense would once again put on an excellent performance, only allowing the Cardinals to rush for 29 yards on 25 attempts, and forcing 5 turnovers once again, which would put the Illinois defense at 12 forced turnovers on the season, and they had only played 3 games so far. Before we move on, I have to shout out quarterback Kurt Kittner once again. He would sling the pigskin around for 301 yards with 2 touchdowns. I must say, something that I was not expecting at the beginning of this video was for this Illini offense to be so much fun to watch. Like, it's 2001 and they're out here throwing missiles. After the huge win, Illinois would be sitting at 3-0 and would move up in the latest polls to the 22nd spot. The Illini really didn't have any time to rest, because right after their big win against the Cardinals, they had another huge matchup immediately after. As conference play was beginning, and their first Big Ten matchup would be on the road at the 17th ranked Michigan Wolverines. If you want to win the Big Ten, you got to go through the Lord of Cinders, Michigan and Ohio State. First up, the Wolverines.
First big play of the game for Michigan. Little bunch formation down here. Oh, look at the pass from Walter Cross to Walker. Touchdown, Michigan! That. So they go 2 receivers each side. Kittner takes off with it and scores. Touchdown, Illinois. Here is Askew up the middle. Touchdown, Michigan. Opportunity for Michigan. Navarre looking to make it pay off. Touchdown, Ronald Bellamy. 19 on the catch, 15 on the flag, David. So that's a 34-yard pickup, a third of the field. Cross hands to Calvin Bell, and off he goes. Calvin Bell at the 10. He's at the 5. Touchdown, Michigan!
Nice push up front by the offensive line.
Askew. Touchdown!
Illinois would get boat raced on the road against the Michigan Wolverines. They punched them in the mouth early, and the Fighting Illini would never be able to respond after getting shell-shocked, losing the game to the Wolverines 45-10. And when rewatching the game and some of the highlights, Illinois' offense just couldn't get the ball moving downfield and turn drives into scores. Illinois' usually complimentary rushing game fell flat as they would only rush for 25 yards, and because of that, Michigan could just pin their ears back, rushing the quarterback, and that strategy would be extremely effective, as Kurt Kittner would have one of his more forgettable performances of the year. After the tough loss to Michigan, Illinois would bounce back strong, reeling off 3 straight Big Ten wins, taking down Minnesota in your prototypical Big Ten conference game, grinding out the win against the Gophers 25-14. Next up was a road game against the Indiana Hoosiers, and I mean, come on, this is 2001, not 2024. So the Hoosiers were not causing anybody any real problems, as the Illini would easily win 35-14. Illinois would go nuclear with their rushing attack this game, rushing for 276 yards with 3 touchdowns on the ground. Now sitting at 5-1, Illinois had one more game left on this 3-game stretch, a home game versus Wisconsin. This would be the toughest game during this stretch, but the Illini would get the job done, winning 42-35, in large part due to a monster performance from quarterback Kurt Kittner, who would toss the rock around for 401 yards with 4 tuds. The stretch was over, but the tough games were not, as the 20th ranked Purdue Boilermakers were hosting Illinois in their next game. Both teams were ranked with only 1 loss, so this game had major Big Ten title implications. There was no room for Illinois to slip up if they wanted to do the unthinkable and bring the title back to Champaign.
Stratton, the big tight end in motion. Here's Hance under pressure. Set up the screen from Montrell Lowe. At 30-35, and he's bumped out 2 yards off the fake punt for Joe Odom. And here's Hance, pumping and throwing. Touchdown! 7.
His brother is 6'3" and 6'5".
You're not going to get that anyplace else. Here's Kittner under trouble. He's pressured, throws it up, jump ball, and it's picked off. Intercepted. Back the other way. Gilbert Gardner, he's going to go, Steve. He's not going to step out this time. Gardner is... They hand it off to Lowe, and Lowe is stopped for a second score. Second down and 5. Again, Kittner gets good protection. Throws down the middle for Lloyd. Got it. Touchdown. His 4th miss of the season, all from better than 50 yards. Kittner looking to air it out. Got a man down the sideline. It's Walter Young. Give it to Antonio Harris, and he's in for the touchdown. They come with the pressure. Hance gets it away, and Stratton couldn't hang on, and it's intercepted by Bobby Jackson. Down the sideline, beats Hance. He's going to go. He's going to go all the way. Bobby Jackson, 82-yard interception return for a touchdown. He's up in the St. Louis Rams, complete to Walter Young.
Up to this point, only 213 yards.
Illinois bringing people, and it's picked off. Intercepted. It's Christian Morton down the sideline. And touchdown. 65-yard return for Christian Morton.
Purdue vs. Illinois would start off looking like the Boilermakers was going to run away with this game, as they would take the early lead going up 10-0, off of a couple of ugly turnovers from the Illini. Purdue had a chance to extend their lead to 17 right before halftime, but the Fighting Illini defense would stand tall, stopping Purdue on 4th and goal. The offense would show how thankful they were for the defense making a big play by driving the ball down the field and scoring on a missile from Kurt Kittner, giving Illinois some well-needed momentum heading into halftime. And once they would come out, they would look like an entirely new team, absolutely dominating Purdue in the second half, winning the game 38-13. Illinois' huge win against the 20th ranked Purdue Boilermakers would bring their record to 7-1, and their ranking in the latest polls all the way up to the 15th spot in the country. Also, the Illini were looking really good in the Big Ten race, being tied with the Wolverine for the conference lead. But Michigan did have the tiebreaker, so the Fighting Illini would need Michigan to slip up if they wanted to secure the conference title. Illinois' next game on the schedule would be versus Penn State, and the Nittany Lions would make the game competitive, but the Illini defense would do their job, forcing 4 turnovers, and while the offense didn't play their best, the defense did just enough for the squad to win 33-28. After the dub, Illinois would jump up 3 more spots in the polls to the 12th spot, and had a pretty good chance at making the top 10 the following week if they could take down the Big Ten's other Lord of Cinder we mentioned earlier in the 25th ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. I tried to find this game's highlights, but I couldn't, I'm sorry. But just know the Fighting Illini would walk into the horseshoe and play like they were the juggernaut of the Big Ten, winning 34-22. That win would help Illinois crack the top 10, and in their last game of the regular season, they would squeeze out a dub against Northwestern 34-28. They made this game tough, but Kurt Kittner wasn't letting the season go to waste, as he would pass for 387 yards with 4 touchdowns, playing a huge part in Illinois taking down Northwestern, putting their final record on the regular season at 10-1 and their final record in the Big Ten at 7-1. Now, Illinois would be sitting with their hands behind their back, patiently waiting for the result of Michigan versus Ohio State. And thankfully for them, the unranked Ohio State Buckeyes would take down the 11th ranked Michigan Wolverines on the road 26-20, which would mean that the Fighting Illini had secured the Big Ten Conference title, and more importantly, a trip to the Rose Bowl, the granddaddy of them all. Actually, nope, never mind. They were playing in the Sugar Bowl against the 12th ranked LSU Tigers. Either way, this was like their national championship game, and there's no better way to cap off a historical season than finishing it off with a BCS bowl game win.
Back to block for Davis. Hurtling forward. Still climbing. Touchdown! Rohan still is more nimble than he looks. Here's Davis. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. Touchdown, Tigers! Have the upper hand. 2nd and 4. It's Davis. Dominic Davis. 3 touchdowns.
Those eyes back up. That was Rohan Davis.
Hittner to the air. Looking deep, and it's well covered. Now tries to find a back-breaking free. And it is caught. Hard pass and catch. About as much offense as they had to that point. Now Kittner throws for Young.
Bringing that pass with his fingertip.
Hittner throws for it. Touchdown. And Davey back of the end zone.
And Kittner has to be careful. It's early in the 3rd quarter. If you don't have something, take the 3 points. Still a lot of time.
This is 3rd and goal. Routes run to the end zone. Kittner fires deep in the end zone. Touchdown. Season. That's how good he's been this year. 3rd throw of this drive. Davey wants more. Wants Reed. Touchdown. Lloyd might throw. Kittner down the seam is covered very well by LSU. Now the throw to Walter Young. Touchdown! Oh, good stuff.
Yeah, Nick Saban wasn't playing around. Illinois would get outplayed early and never really have a chance at coming back. Shout out to them though, because they kept fighting even though they were down 26 plus at one point, eventually losing the Sugar Bowl to LSU 47-34. But we're ending this section on a positive note, as this 2001 season from Illinois is their last time winning the Big Ten title and having their highest AP poll finish since 1989. But hey, Illinois is coming off of a 10-win season from 2024, so hopefully in the future they can go back to winning Big Ten titles. From the Midwest, we travel to the West, more specifically to Cal Berkeley for the next team we're covering in this video, the 2006 California Golden Bears. Okay, I'll admit it, this Cal Bears team wasn't as bad as Illinois coming into the 2006 college football season, but a big reason I wanted to talk about them in this video is because while Cal has a rich history, I'm almost 100% sure a lot of my audience wasn't around for that, as Cal's last Pac-12 title before the season I'm covering was in 1975. And just like the Big Ten, the Pac-12 has absolutely been dominated by the big dogs, such as Oregon, Washington, and USC. And shit, you can even throw in UCLA if you want to. So when I was looking at the Pac-12 history and saw Cal in 2006, I knew I had to take a look. Anyway, like I mentioned earlier, this Cal team wasn't bad at all, as actually when looking back at the 2006 Pac-12 preseason predictions, Cal was expected to finish second behind the USC Trojans, who were voted as the unanimous Pac-12 preseason champions. Which is also another reason why I was so impressed with this Cal squad, because they were competing for Pac-12 titles during the Trojans' golden era of football, and even managed to sneak one away from the Trojan dynasty. That was a little short intro, now let's take a look at some of the key figures a part of this 2006 California Golden Bears football team. Leading the program in his 5th year up to that point was head coach Jeff Tedford, and he had this team executing on both sides of the ball as their offense and defense would rank inside the top 32. Also, Cal fans, y'all know the play. Comment down below where you rank Coach Jeff Tedford on your all-time coaching ladder. Starting under center at quarterback was Nate Longshore, who'd passed for just over 3,000 yards with 24 touchdowns. And I must say, can you have a better last name than Longshore for a Cali quarterback? Moving over to this team's strong point, the running back room, Cal had a beast in the backfield who'd put defenders to sleep if they came in contact with him, and also who would fall asleep behind the wheel if he ever came in contact with alcohol, Marshawn Lynch. And his stats this season were phenomenal, as he'd lead the Pac-12 in rushing and touchdowns, with 1,365 yards on the ground and 15 touchdowns. The star power didn't just stop at the running back position, as at receiver, the team leader in receiving was All-American Deshaun Jackson, who'd finished this year with just over abandoned receiving yards with 9 touchdowns. Before we jump into the season, I have to mention DB Damian Hughes, who'd finished the year with 8 interceptions, which led the Pac-12, and he would take 2 of those picks back to the Homeowners Association, as well as adding All-American honors to put a bow on his incredible season. Opening up the 2006 college football season, the California Golden Bears would start the year with their highest preseason ranking since 1952, and they would be locked in at the 9th spot in the country. And usually when I do these videos, the first couple of games are always warm-ups, but not today, as Cal was opening up their season with a huge top 25 matchup on the road against the 23rd ranked Tennessee Vols. This 2006 Cal squad had a lot of hype coming into this year. There's no way they fumbled their first big game of the season, right?
Volunteers of Tennessee hosting a top 10 club, the 9th-ranked Bears of California, as our college football kickoff weekend continues here on out of some of the games so far that we've seen in the opening weekend. Ainge off play action, rolls and throws, and he's got his man, and it's a touchdown, Tennessee. Hardesty in the backfield now as Ainge drops, plenty of time, got a man open in the middle, it's intercepted. Tip pass and intercepted by Brandon Hampton. Hampton going the other way, and he's back to midfield and more. Big 3 wideouts to the right, Longshore. Deep throw and dangerous and intercepted by Tennessee. Getting it right back is Antoine Stewart. And Stewart back to the 45. A brilliant
That's
career.
the way the legend of Peyton Manning started around here.
First down and then some might be a touchdown. Robert Meacham, touchdown Tennessee.
Only 180, so he's a hard guy to bring down.
Ainge comes up throwing, and he's got a man who broke a tackle. Robert Meacham again. Meacham, one man to beat, who might have an angle. Cuts inside the 20. He is gone. Touchdown. To the backfield. And Ainge going deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown. With Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire, and Bonnie Bernstein, I'm Brad Nessler. Nice to have you along with us here in Knoxville, where the Vols have their best starting field position, and they might have another touchdown. Ontario Hardesty is gone. He's in. Breaking tackles down the...
We both saw those highlights, right? There really isn't much to talk about as Cal got spanked by the Vols, losing 35-18. This game was embarrassing, and we're just going to forget it ever happened, kind of like how Cal would do after this tough loss, as they would bounce back winning 2 games in a row in extremely dominant fashion. Taking down Minnesota 42-17, Longshore and Marshawn Lynch would play much better this game, as Longshore would pass for 300 yards with 4 touchdowns and Lynch would rush for 139 yards with 2 touchdowns. And versus Portland State, Cal would hang exactly 42 again, winning 42-16. Cal had gotten their season back on track somewhat, now sitting at 2-1 and ranked at the 21st spot in the latest polls. The Golden Bears were coming up on their first conference game against the 22nd ranked Arizona State Sun Devils. In their last game versus a ranked opponent, things didn't go too well, and after already suffering an early loss, another one would for sure end whatever big goals Cal was hoping to accomplish this season. Translation, the Golden Bears needed to lock in and play their best ball of the season in this early Pac-12 ranked matchup.
Rain on this drive. Slot left this time with Lewis in the slot. There's a swing pass to Terrain. Terrain gets into the 5, steps into the end zone, and let's see if it's touchdown it is. Long short throws to Forsett. He's got a little room at the 10, at the 5. Touchdown Bears. 3rd down and 7. Big play here. Carpenter straight back. In trouble and wrapped out, lose the football. Ball's loose, and let's see who's got it. The Bears say they do, and they...
It off down there on the sideline.
Yeah, did not go to the bench, and that's significant. Longshore looking long. And throws, and the catch is made brilliantly. Thanks very much, Waddy. Once more punting situation. This is going to be Deshaun Jackson. He might have a chance here at the 20-yard line. Cuts it back in the middle. Look out, he's at the 30. He can go. He's got the punter to beat at midfield. He may go to the 30, to the 20. Forget about it. Deshaun Johnson. 2 minutes and 9 seconds. The Bears lead by 14. Play fake. Longshore going for it all. And Jackson's got it at the 20.
And oh, by the way, an 80-yard vapor trail for a touchdown today.
Well, here's another one. It's Marshawn Lynch. Easy score. Yeah, which could be enough time. This time he throws. It's intercepted again by Hughes. Hughes tries to hurdle him, and he's gone. He just hurtled right over Carpenter. He's going to take it to the house.
Cal versus Arizona State would start off looking like we were in store for a banger, but after the Sun Devils would score the first touchdown of the game, Cal would erupt for 42 straight points, putting the game away pretty much at halftime, which if you ask me, this game was a statement win for the Golden Bears, as they take down the Sun Devils 49-21. Longshore was surgical from the hot pocket, passing for 270 yards with 4 touchdowns, and Lynch was Lynch, rushing for 124 yards. And I mean, we all saw Deshaun Jackson running at sprinter speed on the punt return for a touchdown. Overall, a great game from the Stars on Cal, and the defense played their butts off too, forcing 6 turnovers. Now sitting at 3-1, Cal would keep the high level of play up, easily taking down Oregon State the following week 41-13. Great win versus the Beavers, but Cal wasn't done dealing with teams from Oregon, as after taking down the Beavers, the Golden Bears would face off against the 11th ranked Oregon Ducks the next week, in their biggest game of the season so far up to this point. Cal was riding a 4-game winning streak and had nearly gotten that sour taste out of their mouth from that tough loss to start the season. However, the team that we're facing this time around was a little different, as Oregon was undefeated and had national title hopes.
You are looking live at California's Memorial Stadium.
It's the kind of evening sprinters love to strut their stuff. Let the scoreboard lights start to dance, folks, Pac-10 style, as we welcome you to Saturday Night Football, presented by Southwest Airlines.
Last year as a freshman.
Over to his right side. Offensive line holds, and it's intercepted. The first play of the game, picked off by Blake, making a goal line stand. Wide open, touchdown. 3rd and 15. Longshore gets time, fires, first down. Deep middle, wide open, touchdown. Dixon's going to throw for it in. Almost intercepted by Bishop. Did he get it? Yes, he did. With the throw, deflected, intercepted. Picked off in the end zone. Here comes Lynch. Big hole left side. Explodes. Lynch. Lynch going to the goal line. Down to the 1. And the quarterback keeps it. Nate Longshore. Cal should have wonderful field position. And there was a bear on top of nose. Here's Jackson dancing at the 35, trying to get a block on that side. Cuts back, looking for daylight. Got one man to beat. He explodes, end zone ahead. Touchdown, Bears. And Matt Evanson, and it's a fake. The throw, got it. 1st and goal, and there you are, Bob. We got 2nd and goal. It's Saturday Night Football here. And Stewart pounds to the end zone for the touchdown.
Heisman discussion. That guy is a player, and he's as good as there is in college football. And I think Mike Hart running and Chad Henne throwing, and the leadership, the intangibles are big key.
And a reach back for the touchdowns. 2nd down and 10. Deep now, Williams, touchdown, and there is a penalty. Think of it, 1st down and 10. Here's the toss play now. Boy, the young backup looks good, breaks free, touchdown, Cal. Puts it over 60.
Tell you what, Marshawn Lynch better get healthy, Clint, and get back in that.
Man, you love to see it if you're a Cal fan. The Golden Bears dominated this game from the start all the way into the finish, mainly due to a plethora of early turnovers that would lead to some easy scores for the Cal offense, as the Golden Bears would jump out to an early 28-10 lead in the first quarter. And while the Cal offense would slow down for the rest of the game, there wasn't any need for them to do too much, as their defense would keep Oregon at bay, picking off Dennis Dixon 4 times and making Oregon's rushing game nearly obsolete, as they would only rush for 70 yards. Mind you, this season they averaged about 180. And speaking of the running game, huge shout out to Justin Forsett. He would step up in place of an injured Marshawn Lynch, rushing for 163 yards with a tud. All this goes without saying, Cal would come out on top of the Ducks 45-24, bringing their record on the season to 5-1 and the rankings in the latest AP polls up to the 10th spot in the country. So what now is coming up for Cal after the Oregon Gauntlet? Well, funny enough, after that the Golden Bears will be running through the Washington Gauntlet, starting off with the matchup versus the Washington State Cougars. This game was extremely boring, especially coming off that insane win against the Oregon Ducks. But what are you going to do? Cal would easily win 21-3. Big shout out to Marshawn Lynch this game. He was back and slightly healthier, and his stats would reflect that, as he would rush for 152 yards with 2 touchdowns. And before we move on, big shout out to this Cal defense. They would hold Washington State to only 3 points and force a couple of turnovers. So remember I said that Cal was running the Washington Gauntlet? Well, there was one more team for them to face from Washington, the Huskies. And the Washington Huskies would give the Bears everything they could handle. This game would require an extra quarter to decide the winner.
Blitz, and they cover the blitz off the edge. Now pump fake, airs it out. And again, threw it to the wrong side, and Damian Hughes has just picked up his 7th interception. And they come, actually with a 3-man rush. Pass, intercepted. Picked off this time by Williams. And Williams is down immediately.
Start going downfield.
And again, they go without a huddle. Bonnell goes downfield, got a man. Russo wide open, makes the catch. Touchdown, Washington. Side. Longshore, straight back, pump fake, and the throw for Lynch. He's got him at the 25-yard line. First down.
Knocking people over.
2nd down now and goal. Forsett again, touchdown. They give us to Rankin again, and Rankin bounces it outside, now cuts it back, takes it to the outside, he's got room. He's got one man to beat at the 25, cuts it inside, gets around, continues and has finally corralled it down inside the 10-yard line at the 6. Bonnell in a quarterback sneak. He's going to take it in. Washington touchdown. Longshore this time, give it to Lynch. Lynch tries to get it outside, does. He's the 10, the 5, you're not going to get him. Touchdown Bears. That wrapped around the game at Oregon. So here we go. And the Bears actually blitzed. Bonnell throws it. It is to the end zone, and it is caught. Touchdown! Perhaps a cramp. Here is Lynch. Lynch cuts back. It's the 20. He's the 15, the 10, and he's in. Touchdown Bears! A loss of 5 on first down. Bonnell throws, intercepted. That's it. Ball game over. And he's going to run this out, but it's not going to matter. It's Desmond Bishop who is going to take this the distance, but it's all for naught. It doesn't make any difference. California has won the football game. 5th interception of the day for Bonnell, and the Bears really had to dig down deeply and beat a dead game Washington Huskies team.
Cal would survive the scare from the Washington Huskies, winning in overtime 31-24, off of a clutch interception to seal the game. There was no better way to end the game than with the defense making another big play, because they had been carrying this California team the entire game. The Cal defense would force 4 turnovers in regulation to the Washington Huskies 0, and somehow the offense just couldn't get the job done this game, as they never really took advantage of the extra possessions gifted to them. In all reality, this game should have been a blowout. Cal was just playing with their food for the entire game, especially on that last second Hail Mary. Like, why are you blitzing instead of playing prevent? Who knows, but the Golden Bears would escape with the win, and at this high of a level of college football, that's all you can ask for. Thankfully for Cal, their offense would step up their game in their next matchup of the 2006 college football season against the UCLA Bruins. Longshore played a nearly perfect game from the pocket, passing for 266 yards with 3 touchdowns and only throwing 4 incompletions. And Beast Mode would rush for 80 yards with a nice touchdown. As expected, the defense would play good, making key stops against UCLA when necessary. The final score would be 38-24, and I know the game seems like it was a lot closer than it was, but the Bruins scored in garbage time. Now sitting with a record of 8-1 and moving up in the latest polls to the 8th spot, the Golden Bears were actually not just threatening for the Pac-12 title, but dare I say the BCS National Championship game. And I'm not even just talking out of my ass either. If they could handle their next opponent and take down the 4th-ranked USC Trojans the following week, they would most likely be sitting inside of the top 3. But before that, Cal had to handle the Arizona Wildcats on the road. Arizona versus Cal would start off looking like it was going to be all Golden Bears. They would be up 17-3 going into halftime, but sadly that is as good as it gets. Arizona would start to slowly crawl their way back into the game off of sloppy turnovers from Cal. Longshore would throw 3 interceptions, and in contrast, the Wildcats offense would play an extremely clean game, not turning the ball over at all, putting back-to-back scoring drives together coming out of halftime to tie the game up at 17. The game was in quarterback Nate Longshore's hands after the Wildcats tied the game, and when a team needed him most, he would throw a pick 6, pretty much sealing the game as Arizona would pull off the huge upset, taking down the 8th-ranked Cal Golden Bears 24-20. Cal was now 8-2, and after that tough loss, they really didn't have any time to sulk about it, as next up was a road game versus the 4th-ranked USC Trojans.
Longshore play action. Gonna go long for Deshaun Jackson, and it is intercepted. Zone for USC. And it's Gable, and it's a safety. California now from the shotgun on 2nd down and 8. Nate's got time and throws, and it's caught twice. And breaking free is Deshaun Jackson down the sideline and out of bounds. And finally, number 1 with some pretty good players, and Deshaun wanted to be a starter right away. That couldn't be guaranteed. Now Longshore goes complete to Jordan. And Jordan's got Longshore looks left, pumps, fires, touchdown.
Todd looks like he's ready to hit somebody.
2 of the greatest that have ever played, not only here, but in the NFL. Booty, deep middle. Got him! Touchdown! In the eye. Booty's going to throw for it. Got a man wide open, and he's got him! Steve Smith! Touchdown, Trojans! I'm sure Bev would appreciate it. In 15. Waning moments, Longshore steps up, fires, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Mosique McCurtis. And that will do it. And there will be better days for Nate Longshore, but again, the throne belongs, as we said about 3.5 hours ago, to the Trojans of USC. 32-game winning streak now.
Man, this game sucked to watch because the Trojans didn't even do anything too crazy. This matchup, they just took care of the ball and played solid all around. While on the other hand, Cal would turn the ball over 4 times, and when you turn the ball over on 4 different possessions, it's really hard to win a football game on the road, especially when it's against the conference juggernaut. Anyway, Cal would lose 23-9 and would bounce back after that loss, going to work on Stanford during rivalry week, winning 26-17. Shout out to Deshaun Jackson. Brody finished the game with 127 receiving yards. Cal would finish the 2006 regular season with a record of 9-3 and a conference record of 7-2. After that tough loss to USC, it seemed like Cal's Pac-12 title hopes had flown out the window. But fortunately for them, the BCS National Championship hopeful USC Trojans would slip up during rivalry week, losing in a heartbreaking fashion to the UCLA Bruins 13-9. When I saw that, my eyes opened up because I had no idea USC was natty bound this year, and UCLA ruined it at the end of the season. I might have to add that USC team to a video about BCS teams who almost made the natty. Let me know. So because of the tiebreaker, the Trojans had to share their Pac-12 title with the Cal Golden Bears. And say what you want, some might call it a Mickey Mouse title, but in the history books, it's all the same. Well, not really, because the other winner, the Trojans, would get to play in the Rose Bowl, while Cal would get the honors of playing in the FedEx Holiday Bowl against Texas A&M. Damn, that's ass. But let's end this video on a positive note, with the Cal Golden Bears giving the Aggies belt to ass to end this historical season.
On first down, McGee fires complete, touchdown, what an opening drive. And Longshore keeps it, drives ahead, no signal yet. Now it's a touchdown. 4 on the play clock. Hawkins in motion. Longshore's going to throw. Got a man. Touchdown. McGee flushed. Fires. Incomplete. Oh,
even have a play action pass opportunity too.
Forsett bursting through the middle, breaking a tackle. Justin Forsett applies the stiff arm and fights.
Coming into tonight's game, but they have shown a physical side tonight and blowing people off the ball.
Did it again, and Forsett scored. 3rd and goal. They cap it with a touchdown run. Holly getting in the end zone. Check it. Shut, tailback, as they see the roster, 44-10.